Hi guys, this is Vineet, and in this video we will discuss about SQL Server Activity, how to monitor that. So let's quickly go to notes. So in order to ensure that SQL Server is running optimally, we need to monitor certain kind of activities. So we can use SQL Server to monitor various kind of connections and logs, how many user connections are there and are there any logs present in the system. We can also view the processes and commands of active users that are running on the system. We can check on the status of logs on processes and objects, and we can see the blocked or the blocking transactions. We can check detection of errors within the processes. So let's take a look at them one by one. So first of all, we are talking about how we can examine the process information. It basically provides the details on status of processes, current user connections, and other server activity. So we can view process information by completing the following steps. So let me take you through a demo how you can check on process information. So in order to do that, you need to be inside the SQL Server Management Studio, and then we need to connect to a server. So let's make a connection to a server quickly. Waiting for it to connect. So it's connected. So right now it's connected and we are inside the Object Explorer window. So this is the instance of the database, which is the default instance that we are running, and we need to right click on the database instance and we need to select the activity monitor. So this will open up activity monitor and we will see a graphical overview of the server activity inside it, and it will also show us the activity summary by processes, resource weights, data file IO, and recent expensive queries. So these are the categories. So this is the summary by processes. We can expand on that section. So right now it's showing that no processes are running, and it will show some resource weights. If something is waiting on certain resource, it will show us that. And it is showing us the data file IO. Right now not showing anything, and it is shows the recent expensive queries where the cost was larger, and it also shows us the active expensive queries. So right now nothing is running. So it has shown some little bit of processor time. Right now it has come. Let's see the status now. So it has now started populating some data. So it is showing some expensive query where it's inserting some data into certain tables. So this is the basically temp DB management query that is running automatically, and the data file IO shows us the IO status, which data files are in use. So following are the data files, various DBs, and it shows us the usage like MB returns and response time and MB read. We can check as per the file status over here. And next we can check on the resource weights. So what are various kind of resources and their weighting categories. So if some resource is waiting for buffer IO, buffer latch, logs, logging, memory, network IO, these are the type of wait category. And right now we can see that nothing is in waiting state, and it is showing some aggregated cumulative wait time, etc. We'll talk about details on this later, but yeah, I'm just showing you how you can check the activity monitoring on the server. and it also shows you the processes which are running, which user is running that process, against which database it is running, what query it is running, what type of query it is running. So right now I can see that this user is running a query against the tempdb database, not manually but automatically. Alright, so this activity monitor provides the overall view, basically the graphical view, and shows summary by processes, resource weights, data file IO, and recent expensive queries. And there are separate provided for each category, as we have just seen. So there are various panels. So first let's talk a little bit about this overview panel, which is the top section. This is the overview panel, which shows us these 4 graphs. So this overview panel has graphs depicting the processor time, waiting tasks, database IO, and batch requests, etc. Batch requests per second, etc. And by default, the graphs are updated every 10 seconds, and we can specify a different refresh interval as well by right clicking in the panel, and we can change the refresh interval from here. We can change it to like 30 seconds. As per our requirements, we can change it. By default, it's set to 10 seconds. So right now I've set it to 30 seconds. Now the second panel is the processes panel, and in processes panel, processes are sorted by process ID. So here by process ID we mean session ID. These are the session ID of the processes that are running, and so it's sorted by that session ID information or process ID by default, and but you can arrange them by any available information categories. These other categories we can sort by them as well. So for example, if I want to sort it by database, we just click on it, and if I again click on it, it will sort in descending order. And it contains various information, so let's discuss this information in a little bit detail. So first column is for the session ID, which provides the session ID of the process running on the server. Second section is, let me expand on that. So second section is the user processes, which is a flag that indicates whether it's a user process or a server process. So server process is a process flag of 0. The next column is login, which shows the user that is running the processes by SQL Server ID, service name or domain account. Next column is for the database, and it shows us it basically indicates to us the database with which the process is associated. Next column is task state, and it shows us the status of process. A running process is active and currently performing work. So in our example, this is the process which is running and it's currently performing certain work. And a runnable process has a connection but currently has no work to perform. So this is important. Here we are describing a difference between a running process and a runnable process. So running process is a process which is currently active and currently performing a task, whereas a runnable process, this runnable process has a connection to a server but do not have any work to perform. And the other type of process is a sleeping process. A sleeping process is a process that waits for something, or that is waiting for something such as user input or a log. And fourth type of process is a background process, and which is basically running in the background and periodically performing certain tasks. And the fifth category is the suspended process, and the suspended process has work to perform but has stopped. Alright, so let me take you quickly back to notes. So let's talk about the types of processes here once again. So we have talked about running process. So running process is a process that is active and is currently performing some work. Second type of process is a runnable process. So it is a process that has a connection to the database but currently has no work to perform. Third type of process is a sleeping process. Sleeping process is a process that is waiting for something such as user input or a log to be resolved. Okay, so apart from sleeping we have background process. So what is a background process? A process that is running in the background and is periodically performing tasks. Fourth type of process is a suspended process, which is a process that has work to perform but has stopped somehow. So alright, we are done with the process discussion. Let me take you back to SQL Server Management Studio. Alright, so we were talking about that task state column and we have talked about all kind of processes are there. Next column is the command section, which basically displays the command being executed or the last command executed. So here it is showing us a select command that is being executed. Next column is the application column. So here we see the application is SQL Server Management Studio is the application. So it basically tells us the source of the application from where the query is invoked. So in our case the query is invoked from within the SQL Server Management Studio. So application column shows the application or SQL Server component such as a reporting server connecting to the server and running the process. Let's go to next column, which shows us the wait time. Now what do we mean by wait time for process? Wait time indicates the elapsed wait time in milliseconds. So right now nothing is elapsed here. Next column is wait type. So wait type specifies whether the process is waiting or not waiting. After wait type we have wait resource, which basically displays the resource that the process is waiting for, if any. And after wait resource it shows us the blockage, what the process is blocked by. If a process blocked by some process ID or a session ID, it shows us that information here, which process is blocking this particular query. After blocked by, next column is head blocker. So what does this column contain? It shows 1 if the session ID is the head blocker in the blocking chain. Otherwise it shows 0. Right now it's showing nothing to us. Next section is memory use. So memory use indicates to us how much memory it is using. So the memory use is specified in KB. So right now we can see that 3 processes are consuming 24 KB of memory, and basically this section displays the amount of memory that the process is using in kilobytes, not kilobits. Next column is the host name. So host name is the system where the query is invoked, or from where the connection is originated to the SQL Server. The last column is the workload group. So right now the workload loop is showing as default, and it displays the name of the resource governor workload group columns. Let's see what we have next. The next thing is the next section, or if we talk about next section, so yeah, let's go back to SQL Server Management Studio. Let's talk about resource weights. So this section can be used to track resource weights and any kind of blockage. When you are this section can be used while diagnosing certain performance issues, and we should look closely at the wait time column. This column, wait time, and also wait type. Wait type is the wait category, and wait resource as well. So wait resource is this, so wait time is there. I think these two columns can be monitored, and nothing else is given. Okay. So most of the information can be gathered from the data columns written by various dynamic management views. Let me see if there is an option to enter or adding more columns here now. So I think we will explain this section later in some other video in detail. So for now we can leave it. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, let's discuss about the columns we have. So resource weights panel provides the additional information about the resource weights, and each weight category combines the wait time for closely related wait types such as buffer IO or the network IO. So buffer IO and network IO are related. So if network IO is slow, then buffer IO queue will grow. And let's talk about this column, wait time. It shows the accumulated wait time per second. So if we see something like a rate of 3000 milliseconds, that indicates 3 tasks on average were waiting within this wait category. So I've just given an example. So right now everything is 0. If we see something like 3000, or if we see something like 2000 millisecond, which means that two tasks are waiting for this resource on an average basically. And next column is the recent wait time, which shows us the wait average of accumulated wait time per second, and these combines all the wait times over the last several minutes and averages them for this wait category. So this column basically gives out the average, but this gives us the current information on how many resources are waiting on an average, and this is the average amount of time consumed over certain minutes. And average waiter count gives us which shows us the total amount of wait time for this wait category since SQL Server was started. So for buffer IO, the commit that. So let me show you how you can do that if you want to reset the statistics, wait statistics. Let me take you to command prompt quickly. So the query which you can use to clear the wait counters, alright guys, so the SQL Server is now stable, and let me show you the command which you can use to clear out the wait counters. So you need to type dbcc SQL perf, and you need to specify the following system schema. So you need to type this. So sys.dm underscore os underscore wait stats, and you need to specify the clear parameter along with it to clear these stats. So let's execute this. We can run it, execute it. So yeah, let's see if wait stats are clear. So right now we see that the information is removed. Let's wait for some time. Information will again populate. Right now it's cleared, and basically so we have seen that we have cleared out the view. It will populate in some time if something executes or if something is waiting for certain kind of resource. So let's now go back to the query, and we can get a clear picture on resource waits and blocks. And so we can use a particular kind of view, which is sys.dm tran logs view, and this view, so if we do a select star from a certain view, which is a system view, sys.dm tran transactions logs, so it gives us the details on the logs. So we can run this view. It provides us the detailed information regarding the weights and blocks. So right now nothing is waiting, nothing is blocking. So it has various columns. You can read on that. So we are not covering all of these columns in this video. We can sometime later discuss about it. Right now we are skipping this, and rest of the items we will cover in our next video. So in our next video we will be talking about, so under the same category, server activity, we will be talking about topics like how we can troubleshoot the deadlocks and the blocking connections. We will also see if we can cover how we can track the command execution in SQL Server. So we will try to cover these topics in the next video. So please stay in touch. click on the subscribe button and hit on the bell icon to get regular updates on my videos. And I thank you so much for your time, and please like this video and share your comments so that we can improve, and stay in touch with us. Thank you so much. Bye bye.